Imagine humanity going from riding a chipped wooden scooter to just, building a supersonic jet in a single afternoon.
Right, which is mathematically and historically impossible.
Exactly. But mathematically, historically, that is essentially what happened to human civilization around 3800 BC.
It really is staggering when you look at it.
It is. Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone.
Yeah.
Today, we have a massive, and frankly, a pretty wild stack of sources to go through with you.
Oh, absolutely wild.
Yeah. The mission here is to bridge this staggering gap between ancient mythology and modern astrophysics. We are drawing from an incredibly wide net today.
You really are.
We've got a blog post analyzing historical newspaper reports of giant skeletons. We have expansive excerpts from Zecharia Sitchin's book, The 12th Planet, detailing the sudden rise of ancient Sumer, and a really comprehensive astronomy documentary transcript detailing the cutting-edge scientific hunt for a massive hidden planet 9 in our solar system today.
And, the overarching context that binds all these seemingly disparate sources together is how human curiosity remains completely unchanged.
Whether you're an ancient Sumerian looking up at the stars and reporting the arrival of celestial deities, or a modern astronomer staring at infrared data trying to track the gravitational ghosts of hidden worlds, the underlying drive is identical.
We just want to know what's out there.
Exactly. We're still desperately trying to map the dark edges of our solar system and figure out exactly where we, and our civilization came from.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the contrast between these sources is just mind-bending. On one side, we have ancient clay tablets describing a mysterious extraplanet and celestial beings handing down knowledge.
Right.
And on the other side, we have modern scientists using infrared space telescopes to hunt for a massive planetary anomaly right now. And the bridge between those two worlds starts in a place and time that simply defies logical human evolution.
Ancient Sumer.
Exactly, ancient Sumer.
It's arguably the greatest enigma in human history. I mean, for literally millions of years, human advancement was agonizingly slow. We were essentially nature's children.
Right, just using basic tools. Yeah, Paleolithic humans were using primitive, chipped stone tools, subsisting purely by gathering wild food and hunting. Even the transition to, slightly more refined stone tools took hundreds of thousands of years. Progress was glacial.
Glacial is the perfect word. And then, out of nowhere, the Sumerian civilization just explodes into existence in the Near East. Going from the Paleolithic era to Sumer makes absolutely no sense.
It really doesn't. You don't just stumble into what they had.
No. Our sources detail how, in what feels like a historical instant, they possessed advanced agriculture. The domestication of emmer wheat, barley, the grapevine, all of it occurs exactly in the highlands where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers originate.
Which is, famously, exactly where the biblical book of Genesis places the Garden of Eden.
Right. Not a coincidence.
No, not at all. And it wasn't merely foraging either. It was selective breeding and complex agronomy. But the leap goes so far beyond just agriculture.
Oh, totally.
They developed incredibly sophisticated metallurgy. They were casting bronze in kilns using petroleum-based fuels.
Which is crazy for that time period.
Completely crazy. They had courts, codified laws, intricate medicine. The Sumerian medical texts detailed in our sources describe procedures for brain surgery.
Right, brain surgery?
Brain surgery, and even the removal of cataracts.
Wow.
Yeah. There is even a cylinder seal showing a man lying on a bed and his face is protected by a mask, undergoing what looks remarkably like a modern radiation therapy treatment.
That is insane. I mean, it's one thing to figure out how to put a seed in the dirt, right? But how do you suddenly develop a bicameral Senate?
Right, a two-house system.
Yeah. That implies a society that has moved past a single strong man with a club and developed a complex legislative system to debate the nuances of war and peace. And the math.
The math is where it gets really strange.
Where do you suddenly get the math to calculate a 360-degree circle? They had music too. One of our sources talks about a cuneiform tablet decoded from this era that reveals the world's oldest song.
And they weren't just banging on drums.
No, they used the heptatonic diatonic scale. That's the exact same 7-note mathematical foundation that makes up the modern do-re-mi scale we use today in Western music.
It's incredible.
How does a newly agricultural society invent the exact mathematical ratios of modern music overnight?
Well, the Sumerians themselves had a very clear, unambiguous answer for this sudden injection of knowledge. And, they didn't take the credit.
She didn't.
No. They wrote, quote, "Whatever seems beautiful, we made by the grace of the gods." They attributed their entirely sudden, fully formed societal blueprint to beings they called the Anunnaki.
which translates literally to those who from heaven came.
Exactly.
Now, if you're listening to this, you're probably hearing ancient gods handing down knowledge and wondering if we're steering into pure science fiction right now.
Right, like ancient aliens.
Exactly. But the point of analyzing these sources isn't to say aliens built ancient cities. It's to look at why early humans were so utterly obsessed with finding physical proof of massive, highly advanced architects.
Because these gods, these Anunnaki, weren't described as some, formless spiritual energy.
No, they were described as physically present
Yeah.
and massive in size. Which brings us to that blog post in our stack.
Oh, yes, the giants.
Right, the blog post analyzing historical anomalies. Specifically, this massive explosion of 18th and 19th century American newspaper articles reporting the discovery of giant skeletons.
Yeah, the articles from that era reported the unearthing of skeletons ranging from 7 to 19 feet tall. 19 feet. And the details across these different reports are strangely consistent.
How so?
Well, they were often found buried under mounds in very specific, ritualistic ways, like sitting upright, buried in circles with all their feet pointing inward toward the center.
That's so specific.
Right, and the anatomical reports describe bizarre deviations. Double rows of teeth that grew vertically, rotated 90 degrees from how our teeth grow.
That's almost unsettling to picture.
It really is. Many had red hair, and some featured those elongated Baraka skulls.
Which forces the question, why should you care about 19th century newspaper clippings of giant skeletons when we're talking about ancient Sumer?
Because of the scale of the architecture.
Exactly, because the ancient world was building infrastructure for people of that exact scale. In ancient Sumer, King Gudea recruited 216,000 people to build a massive 7-stage ziggurat.
And he claimed the incredibly complex architectural floor plans were given to him in a vision, right?
Yes, by a deity holding a glowing stylus and a tablet of precious stone.
It's fascinating because they were building structures on a scale that entirely bypassed primitive utilitarian needs.
Right, like those doorways.
Exactly. You see doorways carved out of massive granite blocks that would require diamond-tipped tools to cut today.
And if you just need a door to keep out a cold draft, you don't build a 20-foot tall, multi-ton granite doorway.
No, you don't.
You build a doorway that massive because whoever is walking through it is much, much larger than you.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this obsession with the architects of civilization reveals a pattern that spans the entire globe.
The number 12.
Exactly. We see a strict, unwavering adherence to the number 12 across completely isolated ancient cultures.
Like who?
Well, the Greeks on Mount Olympus, the Vedic traditions in India, the Hittites, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, they all worshipped a pantheon of exactly 12 great gods.
That's a lot of coincidence.
Too much. Sitchin's research points out that all of these pantheons mathematically and thematically trace back to Sumer. To the ancients, there was absolutely no separation between theology and astronomy.
Right.
The 12 great gods corresponded directly to 12 celestial bodies.
Which include the sun, the moon, the planets we currently know, and one more. A 12th celestial body the Sumerians called Nibiru.
The planet of the gods.
Right. And if these pantheons were just ancient metaphors for the farming seasons or the weather, why this strict, obsessive adherence to the number 12 all over the world?
It strongly suggests they were recording an incredibly precise shared cosmology rather than localized farming myths. The Hurrians, the Hittites, the Sumerians, they all recorded detailed tales of a usurped heavenly throne and this extra hidden planet.
So it wasn't a fairy tale to them.
No, it was their astronomical reality.
But this ancient obsession with giant architects and a hidden 12th planet wouldn't matter today if it weren't for one terrifying fact.
Modern math.
Modern math suggests the Sumerians might have been right about something massive hiding in the dark. Because you take this ancient myth of a hidden planet in our solar system, and you fast forward 5,000 years to right now.
Right.
Today, the astronomy documentary in our source stack shows that the most cutting-edge modern scientists are hunting for the exact same thing. They call it Planet 9.
The transition from ancient myth to modern mathematical modeling is striking here. Astrophysicists have observed that trans-Neptunian objects,
The TNOs.
right, the TNOs, which are small icy bodies out in the distant, freezing Kuiper belt beyond Neptune, they're behaving very strangely. Well, their orbits are clustered tightly together and tilted at an exact 30-degree angle relative to the rest of the planets in our solar system.
And that doesn't just happen on its own.
No. The mathematical probability of this alignment happening by random chaotic chance is 0.007%.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like putting a coin on a piece of paper on a table. If it starts moving in a perfect repeating circle all by itself, you don't assume the coin suddenly learned to dance.
Right.
You assume someone is underneath the table moving a hidden magnet. Planet 9 is the hidden magnet. Its massive gravity is shepherding these distant ice rocks.
Exactly.
But actually finding it in a telescope is a completely different story.
Because it is incredibly far away and completely starved of sunlight, scientists have been scouring decades of infrared data, specifically from the IRAS and Akari space satellites, spanning a 23-year period.
And looking in the infrared is a big deal.
It's crucial. For us to see a distant planet via visible light, sunlight has to travel billions of miles out to the edge of the solar system, bounce off the planet's surface, and travel all the way back to Earth.
A two-way trip.
Right. And that two-way trip causes the light to degrade immensely, making the planet appear incredibly faint.
But infrared telescopes aren't looking for reflected sunlight. They are looking for the planet's own internal thermal heat.
Exactly.
That heat only has to make a one-way trip to our telescopes, making the planet appear about 100 times brighter than it would in visible light.
Which helps. But even then, scanning the sky for a heat signature requires ruling out the parallax effect.
Right. Explain the parallax effect.
It's essentially an optical illusion caused by our own Earth's movement. Like, if you hold a finger in front of your face, close one eye, and then switch to the other eye, your finger appears to jump back and forth against the background wall.
Right. It shifts.
The exact same thing happens when we look into deep space. As the Earth orbits the Sun at thousands of miles an hour, our vantage point constantly shifts, making distant, stationary objects appear to wiggle.
Because we're the ones moving.
Exactly. Astronomers have to painstakingly strip out that false wiggle from decades of data just to find one object that is actually moving along its own genuine orbit.
Okay, wait, I have to stop you here.
Sure.
Sitchin's interpretation of the ancient text says this planet, Nibiru, has a 3,600-year orbit and regularly crashes through our inner solar system, bringing these quote-unquote gods close to Earth.
Right.
But the Caltech documentary on the modern hunt for Planet 9 says this hidden world takes 10,000 to 20,000 Earth years to orbit the Sun and stays billions of miles away in the deep freeze of space.
Yes, very different.
Those are two completely different realities. Are we just cherry-picking modern math to validate an ancient doomsday myth?
That's a fair question. We have to separate the mythology from the astrophysics here. Sitchin's interpretation gives us a fascinating look at ancient literalism, the idea of a populated world actively interacting with Earth. The actual astronomical data points to something entirely different.
Which is?
An icy, dead super-Earth that never comes anywhere near us. But the mechanism of scientific discovery often mirrors this exact friction.
What do you mean?
Look at the French astronomer Leverrier in the 1800s. He noticed that the planet Mercury's orbit was wobbling inexplicably.
Right.
He mathematically predicted a hidden planet between Mercury and the Sun causing the wobble, which he named Vulcan.
And astronomers spent decades searching for Vulcan, but it didn't exist.
It didn't exist. The anomaly was later perfectly explained by Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, which showed that the massive gravity of the Sun was actually curving space-time itself around Mercury. The math told Leverrier something was there affecting the orbit. He just didn't know the exact mechanism yet. The gravitational anomalies in the Kuiper Belt today tell us something massive is out there pulling the strings, even if our initial guesses, whether it's an ancient Sumerian Nibiru or a modern planetary core, are still being refined.
That makes a lot of sense. And, if you think a massive hidden planet in our own backyard is wild, wait until you look at the exoplanets our sources cover.
Oh, the exoplanets are terrifying.
Truly. Because the deeper we look with instruments like the James Webb Space Telescope, the more we realize the universe breaks every single rule we thought we understood about planetary formation.
It's a chaotic landscape.
It's full of cosmic oddities.
We used to categorize planets quite neatly into rocky worlds like Earth or gas giants like Jupiter. But we've recently discovered phenomena that are entirely alien.
Like the sub-Neptunes.
Yes, sub-Neptunes. Astronomers initially hoped these mid-sized exoplanets might be vast, tranquil water worlds. But when they ran the thermodynamic models, they realized the reality is far more violent.
They aren't water.
No, these are likely magma worlds. The thick atmospheres aren't made of water vapor. They're literally vaporized rock, boiling off a global ocean of lava.
Or take the exoplanet Waste P18b. This place is a literal nightmare.
It really is.
The temperature on the surface is 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds scream across the landscape at 5,400 miles per hour. And it rains liquid glass.
And it rains sideways.
Sideways because of the wind. And it's not just planets obediently orbiting stars either. The universe is full of rogues.
Yeah, rogue planets.
There is a rogue planetary object scientist nicknamed Simp drifting through the void of space entirely without a star. It has a frantic 2.4-hour day, massive atmospheric clouds made of vaporized iron and magnesium, and it emits glowing radio auroras into the pitch black of empty space.
And we don't even have to look light years away to find rule-breaking physics.
Right in our own solar system.
Exactly. The ice giant Uranus inexplicably emits 12.5% more heat than it receives from the sun, and the mechanism for that internal furnace is still debated.
And Mercury.
Yes, Mercury is actively shrinking as its iron core cools. It's essentially crushing itself, creating massive cliff-like fault scarps that are miles high across its surface.
And Jupiter's moon Io is the most volcanically active body we know of, but it's not powered by a giant internal magma ocean left over from its formation.
No, it's powered by tidal heating.
Right. Jupiter's immense gravity is so intense that it actually flexes and squeezes Io's solid rock crust, raising and lowering the solid ground by up to 330 feet every few days. The friction from that stretching rock literally melts the inside of the moon.
It's violent.
So if our own cosmic backyard is this wildly unpredictable and violent, how arrogant is it to assume we have the history of Earth perfectly figured out?
This raises an important question about human assumptions. We inherently want to view the universe as an ordered, stable, predictable machine.
Because it makes us feel safe.
Exactly, but it's actually highly chaotic. For decades, astrophysical models suggested that a binary star system, two suns orbiting each other, would aggressively shred any planet that tried to form in that gravitational tug-of-war.
But that's not true.
No. We've now directly observed exoplanets peacefully orbiting two suns. This raw, chaotic reality provides profound context for ancient texts.
How so?
Well, when early humans attributed sudden, terrifying geological or cosmic events to warring sky gods, they might not have been inventing fairy tales. They might simply have been witnessing the raw, chaotic nature of our solar system unfolding above them and trying to put a name to it.
But that brings us directly to human psychology.
Yeah.
Because as a species, we have this desperate, hardwired desire to find order in the chaos. We're obsessed with finding someone else out there to explain it all, to make the universe feel a little less empty.
And the psychological phenomenon driving this is called pareidolia.
Pareidolia?
Right. Our brains are hardwired by millions of years of evolution to recognize faces and familiar patterns in random noise. It was a vital survival mechanism for early hominids to spot the eyes of a predator hiding in the bushes.
You needed to see the tiger before it saw you.
Exactly. But that exact same neural wiring applies to how we view space.
Like the famous face on Mars in the Cydonia region, which sent conspiracy theorists into an absolute frenzy in the 70s, but turned out to just be a natural mesa with specific shadows falling across it.
Or the recent doorway spotted by the Curiosity rover on Mars.
Oh yeah, people thought it was the entrance to an alien tomb.
Right, but it was literally just a dog door-sized natural crack in the rock caused by thermal expansion.
Even on our own moon, there's a blue D-shaped patch called Ina that looks entirely artificial, but it's just caused by titanium-rich basalts. And there are craters at the lunar South Pole that look exactly like faces when the sun hits them at a low angle.
It's exactly like staring up at the clouds on a summer day and seeing the perfect shape of a dog.
Right. The cloud doesn't know it looks like a dog. Your brain is just desperate to build a story out of random water vapor.
That desire for a narrative is the common thread running through every single source we've explored today.
It really is.
Whether it's a modern astronomer painstakingly analyzing a 30-degree tilt in icy space rocks, and seeing the invisible hand of a massive Planet 9.
Or an ancient Sumerian looking at the sudden, inexplicable invention of agriculture, mathematics, and bicameral government, and seeing the guiding hand of the Anunnaki.
Humans are fundamentally pattern-seeking creatures. We crave a reason for why things happen. We crave order in the dark.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We have gone on an incredible journey today.
We really covered a lot of ground.
We started with the jarring, mathematically impossible overnight emergence of Sumerian high culture, complete with brain surgery and the musical scale.
Right.
We looked at the bizarre historical obsession with 19-foot-tall giant skeletons buried in circles. We dove deep into the modern infrared hunt for a hidden ninth planet using its own thermal heat to betray its location. And we explored the terrifying magma oceans and the sideways glass rains of exoplanets that break every rule of physics we thought we knew.
And through all of that, we've established that the universe is far stranger, more violent, and more dynamic than our orderly models ever gave it credit for. And while we must rigorously separate psychological pareidolia from hard astronomical data, the persistent mathematical anomalies in our own solar system assure us that there are still massive, paradigm-shifting discoveries waiting out there in the dark.
I want to leave you with a brand new thought to mull over, something that bridges everything we've talked about today.
Okay, let's hear it.
We talked about rogue planets like Simp, wandering the dark, freezing spaces between stars without a sun to warm them. Astronomers estimate there are billions of these rogue planets drifting through the Milky Way alone.
Right, billions of them.
What if these rogue planets aren't just dead, frozen rocks? What if they act as interstellar arcs?
Oh, wow.
Imagine a rogue planet carrying the chemical building blocks of life, or maybe even an ancient frozen civilization deep beneath its insulating crust, slowly drifting through the galaxy for billions of years until it is finally captured by the gravity of a young, warm star system like ours.
That is quite the visual.
Maybe the gods of ancient Sumer didn't arrive in a spaceship. Maybe their entire planet was the ship.
It forces us to realize that the boundaries of what is historically and scientifically possible are only limited by what we have yet to observe.
The sky isn't a fixed clockwork. It's a vast, deep ocean, and we're only just learning how to see in the dark. Keep your eyes on the skies, stay curious, and thank you for joining us on this deep dive.